Unit 12, Lesson 109, Inversions. One of the most advanced things in English, but then you see that's quite easy. You just need to pay attention to the position of words in the sentence and the use of auxiliaries. That's all. We have already seen the beginning, the introduction of the inversions when you study the conditionals, alternatives to if. That we don't, when you make conditional sentences without if, we have to invert the position. But now we are going to deepen in this topic. And all of the advanced certifications have inversion exercises in their tests, okay? And of course, it's not only for tests, it's also for your life. Just by using inversions, you're showing that you have a high level of English, that you speak English in an advanced level. So yeah, let's get down to it. So inversions are mostly used for emphasis, okay? But also for dramatic purpose or formality. But 80% of the cases, inversions are used for emphasis, okay? And they are extremely used in advanced English. So we reverse or we invert the normal word order of the structure. Yeah, we have to invert the structure to show that we are putting emphasis in that sentence, okay? An example. I had never met a celebrity. We start the sentence from the subject, right? We have always learned that in English, we start the sentence from the subject. Mary, Eve, you, he, they, John and Susan, okay? But now we are going to start the sentence from the adverb and after the auxiliary and after the subject. I had never met a celebrity becomes never had I met a celebrity. Crazy, huh? Never had I met a celebrity. That's the inversion. We are inverting things, okay? You put the adverb at the beginning, then we put the auxiliary in front of the subject of the sentence, okay? But yeah, just by doing this, it shows that my English is advanced? Yes. Easier, but yeah. But pay attention. When the tense does not use an auxiliary verb in the affirmative, like present simple or past simple, we must add the proper auxiliary. Example, I rarely go to a stadium. Becomes rarely, I have to put rarely in the beginning, rarely do I go to the stadium, because I'm talking about the present, right? I rarely go. The auxiliary for present is do for I. Do for I, okay? So rarely do I go to the stadium. Mm-hmm. She knows little about me. Okay, little at the beginning and the auxiliary for she. Little does she know about me. Little does, okay, because does is the auxiliary for she. So little does she know about me. Okay? All right? Excellent. In the past simple, the auxiliary is did. Okay? He seldom worked very hard. So seldom at the beginning. Seldom means rarely. So rarely did he work very hard. Okay? We remove the ed and then we add the auxiliary. Seldom did he work very hard. That's a very advanced sentence. Okay? We never went to Paris. Never at the beginning. At no time or never did we go to Paris. Okay? Did, because the auxiliary for past is did. Went becomes we, because I'm using the auxiliary here. So the verb goes back from past to infinitive. Okay? And the adverb at the beginning. Never did we go to Paris, or at no time did we go to Paris. Okay? And these are common adverbial expressions used in inversions. Rarely, hardly, seldom, scarcely, little, not until, only, never, not only, no sooner, or no account, or no condition, under no circumstances, in no way, nowhere, only if. These are the most common ones, okay? Now you're going to practice a little bit. You're going to rewrite the sentences, okay? In putting them in the form, in the structure of the inversions, okay? I'll do the first one to help you, then you do the others, okay? John had never been to such a fantastic restaurant. This sentence is okay. There's nothing wrong about this sentence. But we use inversions to make emphasis, okay? To emphasize the idea. So John had never been to such a fantastic restaurant. So never, okay? The adverb goes at the beginning of the sentence. So never had John been to a such fantastic restaurant. Okay? Beautiful. Now you're going to press pause and then you're going to complete all of the other sentences from 2 to 10. And after we're going to correct them together. So press pause now and do it. Beautiful. Let's continue. 2. I, in no way, want to be associated with this project. Okay? But I want to put emphasis. In no way do, because the present I want, in no way do I want to be associated with this project. Okay? 3. They had no sooner eaten dinner than the ceiling crashed onto the dining table. No sooner is the adverbial sentence, goes at the beginning. So, no sooner had they eaten dinner than the ceiling crashed onto the dining table. Okay? In this case, we don't need to add the auxiliary because it's here. Had eaten, the past perfect. Do you remember the past perfect? Fantastic. Number 4. I had scarcely finished writing my essay when the examiner announced the end of the exam. Okay, so scarcely had I finished writing my essay when the examiner announced the end of the exam. Okay, so scarcely had I finished. Scarcely had I finished. Awesome. 5. I seldom leave my house so early. I rarely leave my house so early. So seldom do I leave my house so early. Seldom do I leave my house so early. Okay, in this case, I don't have the auxiliary here because it's an affirmative sentence. I live. Seldom do I live. Seldom. Sorry. 6. People rarely appreciate this musician's talent. No, again, the present, people rarely appreciate. Let's put emphasis. Rarely do people appreciate this musician's talent. Okay? 7. We would understand what had happened that night only later. Okay, we would understand what had happened that night only later. Emphasizing only later would we understand what had happened, okay, that night. All right? Only later would we understand? 8. They had met such rude people nowhere before. They had met such rude people nowhere before. Okay, so nowhere before had they met such rude people. Nowhere before had they met such rude people. Had they met. 9. He understood little about the situation. Okay, so little at the beginning of the sentence. So little did, because it's understood is in the past. So little did he understand about the situation. Inversion. Advanced English. Important. 10. The children should on no account go on their own. So on no account should the children go on their own. Imagine a father saying, I don't want my children to go alone. My children should on no account go on their own. But you're very angry, you want to emphasize, on no account should the children go on their own. All right? Start using the inversions in your sentences. It's really cool, and people will look up to you and say, wow, nice English. All right, now you're going to do this quick and easy exercise. You're going to press pause now, and you're going to choose the best option among letters A, B, C, and D. And after that, we're going to correct it together. So press pause now and do it. Let's do it. Rarely, starting from the adverb, rarely will you see, because I need the auxiliary. Will is an auxiliary. So rarely will you see anyone using typewriters, no? Typewriters nowadays. So one letter B. 2. Receive the law degrees. So we have to start from the inversion. So never so many women have, never have so many women received law degrees as today. Adverb and auxiliary. Adverb and auxiliary. So 2 letter B. 3. The environment gives not only the environment gives, not letter D, look, not only does auxiliary, the environment give us air to breathe, but also it filters out harmful rays. So 3 letter D. 4. Have goods. Okay, so seldom do we, because I need the adverb and the auxiliary. So 4 letter B. Seldom do we have goods returned to us because they're faulty. 5. Hardly he had, hardly he was, hardly had he, hardly did he. Let's see. Entered. Okay, so hardly had he. I cannot use did with ed. So hardly had he entered the office when he realized that he had forgotten his wallet. So 5 letter C. 6. Did Jonathan realize upon entering the store, when entered the store, after, only after entering the store, did Jonathan realize? So 6 letter D. Only after entering the store, did Jonathan realize that there was a danger, okay? 7. Only after the food has been dried or canned, should it be stored for later consumption? Should it be stored for later consumption? 7 letter C. 8. Resigned, we would have been forced to sack him, okay? Had he not resigned, we would have been forced to sack him, okay? Had he not resigned, 8, letter A. 9, times have changed and so have we. Times have changed and so have we, letter C. And number 10, he didn't know the answer and neither did I. Okay? He didn't know the answer, did I. Times have changed and so have I. Okay, you have to respect the auxiliary used. 10, letter C. What do you think of the inversions? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy? Yeah, I know it's a piece of cake. Start using them in your daily conversations, in your writings, in your messages. Okay, it's really cool to use them. In the next lesson, we are going to see some dependent prepositions. Okay, it's an important thing in English. And then in a minute, we're going to discuss about it. So, see you soon.